Ladies and gentlemen, life will throw challenges your way. The odds will seem stacked against you. And many people. But let me remind you of a simple truth. It's not the odds that determine your success. It's your mindset, your discipline, and your willingness to do what others won't. You see, history is filled with people who started with nothing. No money, no connections, no favorable circumstances. Some even faced rejection, failure, and heartbreak at every turn. But what made them different? What allowed them to break through when others gave up? It was their unwavering commitment to grow, to push forward, and to never let the odds define their destiny. Success isn't about having the perfect hand dealt to you. It's about playing the hand you have with mastery. It's about showing up every day, regardless of how you feel, and planting the seeds that will eventually lead to the harvest. You may not control the obstacles in your path, but you do control how you respond to them. And when you choose perseverance over pity, courage over comfort, and learning over excuses, you shift the odds in your favor. So, no matter what you're facing today, remember this. It's never about where you start. It's about how you finish. And those who stay the course, those who build their character along the way, those who refuse to be defined by circumstances, those are the ones who win against all odds. The choice is yours. Will you rise or will you retreat? Will you build or will you blame? Decide today that no matter what stands in your way, you will win. Success doesn't happen by accident. It's not something that just falls into your lap one day while you're waiting for life to get easier. No, success begins the moment you make a firm decision. When you say, enough is enough, I will no longer settle. I will no longer make excuses. I will no longer wait for the perfect time. I will take control of my life. That's the turning point. That's when everything changes. You see, most people spend their days drifting, hoping things will get better, waiting for circumstances to improve, waiting for the right opportunity to come knocking. But winners, those who truly rise above the odds, don't wait. They decide. They take responsibility. They say, from this moment forward, I am in charge of where I go, what I do, and how I respond to life. Doesn't matter where you're starting from. Maybe you've had setbacks. Maybe the odds seem impossible. Maybe you failed before. But success isn't about what's happened in the past. It's about what you decide to do next. The past is a lesson, not a life sentence. And the people who win are the ones who refuse to let past failures dictate their future. Making the decision means you stop playing the blame game. No more pointing fingers at the economy, your upbringing, your circumstances, or what someone else did or didn't do for you. You take full ownership. You wake up every morning with a clear direction, knowing that each day is another step toward the life you are building. And here's the key. A real decision isn't just wishful thinking. It's backed by action. A true decision means commitment. It means discipline. It means doing what you said you would do long after the excitement has worn off. It means showing up, even when you don't feel like it. That's the difference between those who dream and those who achieve. So, if you want to win against all odds, it starts right here, right now, with a decision. A decision to step up. A decision to rise above. A decision to keep going, no matter what. Because the moment you truly decide, the universe starts moving. Doors begin to open. Strength that you didn't even know you had begins to show up. And suddenly, what once seemed impossible becomes inevitable. The way you think shapes the way you live. Your mindset is the foundation of every success and every failure. It determines whether you see challenges as obstacles or as opportunities. It decides whether you get back up after a setback or stay down and make excuses. It dictates whether you take control of your life or let circumstances control you. The truth is, two people can face the same difficulty. One will rise and the other will break. Not because one was luckier or more talented, but because one saw the challenge as a stepping stone while the other saw it as a dead end. The person who wins is the one who refuses to be defined by the odds, who chooses to see every setback as part of the process rather than the end of the road. Your mind is like a garden. If you fill it with weeds, doubt, fear, negativity, then don't be surprised when your life is full of limitations. But if you plant seeds of growth, discipline, belief, and resilience, you will reap a life of abundance. The mind will always produce something, whether you cultivate it or not. The question is, are you growing something useful or are you letting weeds take over? The people who succeed The people who rise against all odds have trained their minds to focus on solutions rather than problems. They don't waste time complaining about what they can't control. They put their energy into what they can control. They don't dwell on failures. They extract lessons from them and move forward. They don't let fear make decisions for them. They step forward in courage, even when they don't have all the answers. A winning mindset isn't something you're born with. It's something you build. It's something you build. You build it through the books you read, the people you associate with, the thoughts you allow to dominate your mind. And most importantly, you build it through action. Every time you push yourself beyond what's comfortable, every time you choose discipline over distraction, every time you refuse to quit, you strengthen your mindset. Success isn't about being the smartest, the strongest, or the most talented. It's about how you think. It's about whether you see yourself as a victim of circumstance or the architect of your future. Because the moment you shift your mindset, you shift your results. And when you shift your results, you shift your entire life. Discipline is the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. It doesn't matter how talented you are, how many opportunities come your way, or how much potential you have. Without discipline, none of it will amount to anything. But with discipline, even the person with no advantages, no special connections, and no lucky breaks can rise to the top. Discipline is what separates those who dream from those who achieve. It's what turns a wish into a goal and a goal into reality. It's easy to get excited about success, to talk about big plans, to imagine what life could be like. But success doesn't respond to wishes. It responds to consistency. It responds to the small repeated actions that most people overlook because they seem too simple, too ordinary, too unexciting. You see, discipline isn't about doing what's easy. It's about doing what's necessary. It's about waking up early when you'd rather sleep in. It's about working on your craft when no one is watching. It's about saying no to distractions, to excuses, to the short-term pleasures that try to pull you away from long-term success. And the truth is, most people won't do it. They won't stay committed. They'll look for shortcuts, and when they don't see quick results, they'll give up. They'll give up. But those who develop the habit of discipline will always rise above the rest. Think about it. Discipline doesn't care about background, luck, or circumstances. It doesn't matter where you started. What matters is whether you have the discipline to keep moving forward. It doesn't matter how many times you failed before. What matters is whether you have the discipline to try again. It doesn't matter if today was hard. What matters is whether you have the discipline to show up tomorrow. You want to change your life? Change your habits? You want to reach your potential? Master the small daily disciplines that others ignore. Because the moment you take control of your habits, you take control of your future. And the person who builds discipline builds a life that most only dream about. Life doesn't move in straight lines. No matter how well you plan, no matter how determined you are, there will always be unexpected twists, setbacks, and challenges. The road to success is filled with detours, and those who win are not necessarily the strongest or the smartest. They are the ones who learn to adapt. Too many people get stuck because they refuse to adjust. They cling to an old way of thinking, an old plan, an old habit, even when it's clear that it no longer works. They say, this is how I've always done it, or this is what I expected. And when life doesn't go according to their script, they freeze. But the truth is, success belongs to those who are flexible enough to change when necessary, to adjust their approach without losing sight of the goal. Think of a tree in a storm. The trees that stand rigid and resist the wind are the ones that snap and break. But the trees that bend, that move with the storm instead of against it, are the ones that remain standing. Life works the same way. Rigidity leads to frustration, but adaptability leads to resilience. This doesn't mean you abandon your vision or lower your standards. No, it means you remain committed to the goal while being flexible with the process. It means that if one plan fails, you create another. If one door closes, you find another way in. If one approach doesn't work, you learn from it and adjust. Because in the end, it's not about whether everything goes according to plan. It's about whether you're willing to keep moving forward, no matter what. The people who rise against all odds are not the ones who had everything go their way. They are the ones who faced unexpected challenges, learned from them, and adapted. They didn't let obstacles stop them. They used them as stepping stones. They didn't waste time complaining about what should have happened. They focused on what could be done next. The world is constantly changing, and those who refuse to change with it get left behind. But those who learn to adapt, who stay open to new ideas, who are willing to grow and evolve, they are the ones who will always find a way to win. Because life rewards those who are not just strong, but those who are willing to adjust, pivot, and keep pressing forward, no matter what comes their way. Life will test you. There will be setbacks, disappointments, and moments when you feel like giving up. People will doubt you, circumstances will challenge you, and sometimes even your own mind will try to convince you that it's not worth it. But the truth is, success belongs to those who refuse to stay down. It belongs to those who develop resilience, the ability to take a hit and keep moving forward. Resilience isn't about avoiding failure. Failure, it's about learning how to rise after it. It's about understanding that setbacks are not the end of the road. They're part of the process. Every great success story is filled with challenges, but what separates those who make it from those who don't is the willingness to endure, to push through, to keep going when most people quit. Think about the strongest materials in the world. They aren't strong because they've never been tested. They're strong because they've been tested. Pressure, heat, and resistance have shaped them, and the same is true for people. The challenges you face are not there to destroy you. They are there to refine you, to build your strength, to prepare you for the next level. Resilient people don't let problems define them. They don't sit around feeling sorry for themselves. Instead, they ask, what can I learn from this? How can I use this experience to grow? What's my next move? They take every setback and turn it into a lesson. They take every rejection and use it as fuel. They take every difficulty and let it sharpen their character. And here's the secret. Resilience is not something you're born with. It's something you build. Every time you refuse to quit, you get stronger. Every time you push through discomfort, you grow. Every time you choose to keep going when it would be easier to stop, you develop a level of mental toughness that most people will never have. You can't always control what happens to you, but you can always control how you respond. And the people who succeed are not the ones who had the easiest path. They are the ones who face the same obstacles as everyone else, but refuse to let those obstacles break them. Instead, they used every challenge as a stepping stone to something greater. So when life knocks you down, and it will, don't stay down. Get back up. Adjust your approach if you need to, but never lose your determination, because the people who win in life are not the ones who never fell. They are the ones who always got back up. Who you spend time with will shape the direction of your life. The people around you influence your thinking, your habits, your confidence, and ultimately, your success. If you surround yourself with weak-minded, negative, and uninspired people, don't be surprised if your own dreams start to shrink. But if you choose to surround yourself with people of strength, people who challenge you, push you, and expect more from you, you will rise to a whole new level. You see, success is not just about what you do. It's also about who you allow into your environment. If you're constantly around people who make excuses, complain, and settle for mediocrity, their mindset will rub off on you. Their habits will become your habits. Their doubts will plant seeds in your mind. And before you know it, you'll start thinking, talking, and acting just like them. But when you surround yourself with people who are focused, disciplined, and driven, you absorb their energy. Their work ethic inspires you. Their vision stretches you. Their belief in what's possible makes you think bigger. These are the people who won't let you feel sorry for yourself, who won't tolerate your excuses, and who will hold you to a higher standard. Strong people challenge you to grow. They tell you the truth, even when it's uncomfortable. They push you to be better, not because they're against you, but because they see what you're capable of. And here's the key: you have to be willing to do the same for them. You have to bring strength to the table as well. If you want to be surrounded by winners, you have to think, act, and live like a winner. Take a look at your circle. Are the people around you lifting you up or dragging you down? Are they encouraging you to step into your potential, or are they reinforcing your limitations? The right people will make all the difference in your journey. The wrong ones will keep you stuck in the same place year after year. So be intentional. Seek out those who inspire you. Learn from those who have done what you want to do. Connect with those who challenge you to aim higher. Because when you surround yourself with strength, you become stronger. And when you walk with people who are moving forward, you'll never have to worry about being left behind. There comes a moment in life when you have to look in the mirror and realize that where you are is the result of the choices you've made, not the economy, not your upbringing, not what someone else did or didn't do for you. Your choices. Because the moment you take full responsibility for your life is the moment you take full control of your future. Too many people spend their time blaming circumstances. They blame their past, their parents, their boss, their luck, anything but themselves. And while that might make them feel better in the moment, it keeps them stuck. Because as long as you believe that someone or something else is responsible for your situation, you are powerless to change it. But the moment you say, it's on me, everything shifts. Now, instead of waiting for something to change, you become the one who makes the change. Taking responsibility doesn't mean everything is your fault. It means that no matter what has happened, you refuse to stay a victim. It means that instead of saying, why did this happen to me? You ask, what can I learn from this? Instead of saying, I had no choice, you say, I always have a choice. Instead of waiting for opportunities, you create them. Instead of wishing for a better future, you build one. You see, the most successful people in the world didn't get there by making excuses. They didn't get there by blaming their past. They got there because they took ownership of their lives. They decided that no matter how difficult things were, no matter how unfair life seemed at times, they were in charge of what happened next. And that decision gave them power. Truth is, life will always present challenges. There will always be reasons to quit, to complain, to shift responsibility elsewhere. But every time you choose to take ownership instead, you grow stronger. You become someone who doesn't wait for permission to succeed. You become someone who doesn't need ideal conditions to move forward. You become someone who shapes their own destiny, rather than waiting for life to hand them one. So take a look at where you are today. Not with guilt, not with regret, but with honesty. Ask yourself, what can I do right now to take control of my future? Because the moment you stop making excuses and start making decisions, you step into your power. And when you take full responsibility for your life, life begins to respond to you in ways you never imagined possible. Everything in life starts as a seed, an idea, a habit, a decision, a belief. And just like a farmer planting crops, the seeds you choose to plant will determine the harvest you reap. You can't expect success if you're planting the seeds of laziness, negativity, or procrastination. You can't expect a strong future if you're sowing weak habits today. Life doesn't work that way. Whatever you put into the soil of your mind, your actions, and your daily routines will grow, whether you want it to or not. If you plant seeds of discipline, you will harvest results. If you plant seeds of learning, you will harvest wisdom. If you plant seeds of action, you will harvest progress. But if you plant seeds of doubt, fear, and excuses, you will harvest regret. Now, here's the thing. Seeds don't grow overnight. Just because you decide today to change your life doesn't mean you'll see the results tomorrow. And that's where most people fail. Plant a good seed, but because they don't see instant results, they get frustrated and give up. They stop watering their dreams. They stop putting in the work. And then they wonder why nothing ever changes. But the truth is, success doesn't happen in a day. It happens over time. People who win in life are the ones who keep planting, keep watering, and keep believing, even when they don't see immediate progress. You have to be intentional about what you're planting. What are you feeding your mind every day? What kind of people are you surrounding yourself with? What habits are you reinforcing? What thoughts are you entertaining? Every decision you make is a seed. Every action you take is a seed. Every moment of effort, every book you read, every skill you develop, these are all seeds being planted for your future. And here's the best part. Good seeds multiply. One disciplined habit leads to another. A good decision opens the door to more opportunities. One strong mindset attracts even greater success. Before you know it, you're living in a harvest of abundance, not because of luck, but because of the seeds you planted long ago. So take a look at your life right now. If you're not happy with your results, check the seeds you've been planting. Because life doesn't give you what you want, it gives you what you've sown. If you want a better future, start today. Plant the right seeds. Stay patient. Keep watering. And when the time is right, you'll reap a harvest that was worth every bit of effort. Success doesn't happen overnight. It's not a lottery ticket. It's not a lucky break. And it's certainly not something that just falls into your lap. Success is a process. And at the heart of that process is patience. The ability to keep going, keep believing, and keep working, even when the results aren't immediate. So, too many people quit too soon. They plant the seed, but when they don't see results right away, they get frustrated and walk away. They start a new habit, but when they don't see instant change, they begin chasing a goal, but when it doesn't happen on their timeline, they assume it wasn't meant to be. But here's the truth. Anything worthwhile takes time. Growth takes time. Mastery takes time. Greatness takes time. Then the people who reach the top are the ones who have learned to wait while still working. Patience isn't about sitting around hoping that things will change. It's about staying the course even when progress is slow. It's about trusting that if you do the right things long enough, the results will come. Because that's how life works. Effort compounds. Small actions repeated over time create massive change. But most people never give themselves the chance to see it. They stop just short of the breakthrough. The strongest trees take years to grow. The best ideas take time to develop. The greatest achievements are built brick by brick, day by day, often with no visible signs of progress for a long time. But that doesn't mean nothing is happening. Just because you don't see results doesn't mean your effort is wasted. The work you're doing in silence, in discipline, in consistency, it's all adding up. Patience is power. It means you don't rush the process. You respect it. You don't compare your journey to someone else's because you understand that timing is different for everyone. You don't let frustration make decisions for you. You stay steady, you stay focused, and you remind yourself that great things always take time. So don't give up just because it's taking longer than you expected. Keep planning, keep watering, keep showing up. The people who master patience are the ones who end up with a life that others only dream about because they understood something most people never learn. Anything worth having is worth waiting and working for.